How are you doing? I'm going to be interviewing Nicola Lambo. Say hello. No, if you can charge it up.
Hi.
Oh, hi. I haven't had time to put my lip gloss on. I'm so excited. Totallyevelyn is about just being very random and having a live chat like you've just met me for the first time. All real, and that's the best way to chat, I think, because there's nothing scripted. Can be a bit nerve-wracking, but again, then we can just keep it quite natural. You see request to go live, then you just need to press yes and then come on live. And it's as simple as that, talking to people that are sharing their success story with you. People get a bit stuck in life, so if they can hear all your hurdles and all your challenges, then it makes it a lot better for them because you've done all the rocky road for them. And Nicola Lambo, come on. Yes, you look absolutely stunning.
Oh, you're very sweet. Thank you, Evelyn. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us. A little bit about you, what you're doing and where you're from.
I'm originally from Jamaica. I live in Los Angeles. I've been here since 2007. I'm a full-time actress. Started out as a singer. I actually have a jazz vocal degree from the University of Miami. A lot of work for Disney World. Got to play their version of Nala in The Lion King over there for them at Animal Kingdom. And then I did a lot of traveling with original recording artists and stuff. I had to transition into acting full time. And here I am in LA.
That's absolutely amazing. Can just connect.
I have a website, which is nicolalambo.com. But I'm also on IMDb, which is the movie database, and all the TV shows, my reels are on there. Clips from TV shows that I've done are on there.
I absolutely love California. It's so beautiful. Really love it there.
Yes, it's the weather is astounding. It is gorgeous to live here. And I've started to take up a lot of hiking.
One of the beaches I really loved when I was there was Pebble Beach. I love Pebble.
Oh, yes.
So
yes.
Gorgeous.
Yes. There's so many.
Laguna Beach is so beautiful. Oh.
Yeah.
What do you prefer doing? Do you prefer singing and theatre, or do you prefer acting?
My focus is acting now. Those years of singing and studying, what I realized the thing that I was the most passionate about were the words and the messaging in the singing. And I got invited out to Hong Kong Disneyland to open the theme park there. And I thought, oh, when would I ever get to go open a theme park as this amazing character? I was there. There was a guy there that worked for a talent agency here in California. And he did like this commercial workshop just for fun, for us to do scripts and stuff like that, just for commercial, you know, keep our skill set up.
Yep.
And after the class, he came to me and he was like, why are you in Florida? You should be in California. And it's so interesting. He literally just kind of like planted the seed of making a transition and moving. And I had been a little bit discontent with just singing anyways at that point in the game, and just like thinking future-wise where I wanted to be and what I really wanted to be doing. And just the stars kind of aligned. One of my friends said, oh my gosh, if you move to California, you can live with me for a year for free to see if you like it. And that gentleman said, okay, well, I can get you signed with my agency. So I had a place to live for free. I had a representation right away. And it just all was like, we had saved a bunch of money because we went over to Hong Kong, made a bunch of money while we were there. So the timing was just ideal for the transition before I even realized I needed a transition.
And all you needed to do at that point is say yes.
Yeah, it's funny because my husband, he looked at me on the plane ride home and he said, so are you just going to ignore all of the signs that are literally pointing you to go and figure out if California is an option for you? And I was like, what? He's like, let me list it out for you. All of these things that have just aligned that if you wanted to pursue it, maybe this is where life is directing you, you know? And I was like, huh.
That's so nice, and he's so supportive as well. On the other side, Nicola, it might be that you had a partner that was like, you know, a bit frosty and saying, oh, no, I don't want you to expand or to grow.
Yeah.
People that have dreams and they shelve their dreams because of the partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been very, very fortunate to find someone that he is one of the greatest visionaries that I know. He has the foresight to be able to see things and see things in a very big, broad way. He's just a very centered, spiritually oriented person, and he can just see these things so clearly. And I mean, he's always been more of an entrepreneurial spirit. Following your true passions leads you into what you should be, kind of thing. And we've always been intentional with how we treat one another, intentional with the things that we are a part of, the careers that we pursue. He just has that ability. He has that sixth sense about him to feel the
That's what we'll
intuition.
need. When you went over to California, did that impact your life then? Did you feel like, did you just want to sort of pinch yourself and it was the right move, obviously?
To be very honest, like very candid, it was huge sticker shock. Like I went from living in Florida to moving to California. The price point is like, you know, and
is it?
Although we were big, it's a huge gap. Thought we were financially prepared to make the move because we did put money aside. Everything was pretty planned out. The rent is higher. The food is more expensive. Mode of transportation is your car. Like all of these expenses added up, and it just kind of like, even as prepared as we were still not prepared enough. Like starting from scratch. My biggest hesitations in leaving Florida, because I had my people, I had my relationships. It was very comfortable, but I knew who I could call, and they also knew my skill set. They knew the type of person I was, so the opportunities for work were abundant, you know? So coming here, not necessarily having enough funds to really last throughout the time frame needed to build those relationships, and then having to build them from scratch, it was definitely like, ooh, okay, like the first 3 years.
How did you do it? Did you have to get a job when you arrived there? Did you have to go and do some extra work, like maybe waitressing?
What I knew how to do was sing, and I just kind of fell into that pocket of that kind of entertainer, and just opportunities to sing sort of fell into my lap. So although I had representation and I was auditioning, I was making money still singing. And then I ended up working for, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this artist, but Engelbert Humperdinck.
Oh my goodness, I love him. I absolutely love his voice. It's so good.
Yeah. I got the privilege of traveling with him for several years, but he was doing a world tour. So he was going like Germany, went to England, Malaysia. That was who employed me, so I would have to go to these places. Although I came here to act, I was actually traveling away to go sing. So it was a total catch-22 because my income stream was keeping me away from actually building my acting career. In that meantime, I was still booking work here, just really hard work and making relationships. I found a manager, and one day she finally says to me, I love representing you. I think you're incredibly talented and you could really have a career doing this. However, you are not sure. Yeah, however, she's like, people want to book you. You're in another country. Availability is now becoming a problem with your actual booking this work. So she point blank said, well, why did you move to California? And it was like, oh, point taken. I was like, okay. And so I had to get rid of the crutch because the singing was not a crutch. And I thought, okay, well, now I have to come up with another way to make money. You know, it was kind of one of those very difficult decisions to make. Staying in town and singing, you don't really make as much as you can traveling. So I started to tutor. So I went on Craigslist and I said, well, let me see if I can use my 4-year degree and just say, hey, I'm really good at writing skills and mathematics. I had this young girl, the single dad, and she was having a lot of difficulty in school, and her father was letting her pick who her tutor was going to be. She went from like a D to a B and then to an A, and her dad was ecstatic. And so they started to tell their friends. I built the clientele for tutoring that way. And it was funny because I literally learned how to do it on the job. I had never tutored in my life. I tutored my niece. That was as much tutoring as
a wee hustler.
I know. I was like, I can figure this. I can teach. Tutored as much as I could until the workflow started to come in enough for the next question to be asked. Okay, you have to get rid of your students now.
Yeah, you've got all these following you now. Your biggest fans, your students.
Yeah, those kids were like my children.
An exciting life you've got. It's brilliant, isn't it? So nice. Once you take the first step, then it's like just saying yes when you get that opportunity, going for it, and then living the challenges, then you've got to survive. So you have to just do what you've got to do and make
Mm-hmm.
it work. You make it work. There's
Yeah.
so many people that say, oh my goodness, I can't do it. I just can't do it. What advice
Yeah.
would you give to anyone that's got a dream and that's not pursuing their dream?
Mindset. I think there's some work to be done, you know, just to get clarity for yourself. And I found, like, one of the books that I swear by. It's my favorite book. It's the reason why I'm able to have my own incorporation right now, and I get to act full time. It's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Thank you,
And
yes.
yeah, and then 6 steps, you know, and he talks about having a clearly defined goal, having a monetary amount that you're working towards, putting a timestamp on it, and all of these things. And I would just say, clear on what it is that you want. And I think that your passion will lead you there. Like, you know, in order to get that clarity, it's, okay, well, what do I love to do? What do I love to do? And then follow that route. And sometimes, you know, the thing that you're passionate about is not necessarily your career. It's not necessarily what you make money doing, is what I should say. But one can serve the other still. I think people sometimes get caught in the thought that, well, I have to do my passion and that's the thing that has to make me money. You can make money to serve your passion. It doesn't have to be one and the same, you know? Following that passion and then focusing on it long enough to build that confidence and that belief system, because, you know, life has a lot of tough stuff.
Yeah.
And if you don't find some time to get clear on what is it that I really want, what is the thing that brings me the most joy, and then direct your life toward that thing, you just start taking things that aren't really satisfying, they're not really fulfilling, and then you find yourself in a place where you don't love. And then you're like, how did I even get here? Because you just start taking everything that comes your way. You know what I'm saying? There's no clarity, there's no purpose, there's no drive or real motivation. Because I don't think money is a good motivator. I think a deeper reason why you're doing something is the thing that's going to keep you doing it until you start seeing the results of your persistency.
You said money's not the influencer, but for me, I've been so busy on my passion, which is this.
Yeah.
And then because I lost my hospitality work through the coronavirus and the pandemic, then
I see.
I started to get right into real estate again. And I know I should be dedicating a lot more time to making money, but I can't. I'm too passionately involved with this. And I'm only interested in doing the creative stuff and the stories. So again, you're right. It's not about the money for me, although we need money to survive. And that's the thing. Dedicating as much time and being really quite good with time management, I suppose. You have to really try and plan, as you said. That's a good book, I suppose, for people to read.
And you have a goal in mind and you want to hit it by that date. It just gives you a sense of urgency or a sense of time management so that you know, well, you can technically reverse engineer from where you want to be and then figure out where you are right now and map out the steps that you could take to get there, but within that time frame.
You're just welcoming it into your world, isn't it? And the mindset clear. It's difficult because we get a bit sort of clouded and we get a bit irate at times. Yeah. But if you can follow books and you can keep a plan in place, you're prime example.
If you have two targets and one is still and one is moving, which one is the one you're more likely to be able to hit over and over and over again? It's like a target. So you just give your mind a target to focus on, and you're more likely to hit it, as opposed to a moving object or moving goal that you're not that, your odds are very low that you're going to actually hit the thing if it's constantly all over the place moving or so ambiguous that you have no clarity on how you would go about doing it. It just brings focus to you so that you can actually
Fantastic advice. And listen, my last question, we've got about a minute, I think, over time. I want to ask you, Engelbert Humperdinck, I love the song, Please Release Me. Did you sing that song with him?
He couldn't do a show without doing that song. That was one of the classic things. He used to have like a handkerchief that he would give out into the audience every show, and it had like his signature cologne on it. So whatever audience member caught it was like, ah, you know?
Oh my goodness. At least it wasn't like Tom Jones when they were all throwing their bras at them.
Oh gosh, yeah. This is my first live, so I'm like,
you must come back very soon.
I would love to. It would be my pleasure. For watching.
Thank you so much. That is totally valuable. People will love you, and hopefully they'll follow you as well. Lambo?
Nicola.Lambo. Yeah, that's it.
Fabulous. You
Okay.
take care. I really can't wait to speak to you again. Pleasure.
My pleasure. Bye.
Bye.